Tell us about your experiences being sworn in. What was it like for you?
Oh, my experience being sworn in, no, it was great. Yeah, I've been sworn in as a councilman, so it wasn't much different from that, other than the fact that we had a huge crowd, which was surprising. I wasn't really looking for a big crowd, so I thought that was real exciting that we had a real big. It was four of us thrown in, really five of us sworn in, counting one of the commissioners of public works. So it was a real big crowd, probably a couple hundred people, and that was exciting for having that big crowd here. But it was real nice ceremony.
And what do you think set you apart from the other candidates when it came to the mayoral race?
I think what set me apart from the other candidates, what you're talking about as far as the race went,
Yes, sir.
is the experience I have with my experience. I think outweighed between me and the other candidates. My experience with our government here in Somerville, years of working with the town, for the town, and serving on city council for 8 years, outweighed me as a candidate. I just, that experience means something. And, my total time with the town was close to 40 years experience. Even though I'd been out of it for a good while, I did have that experience, and I think that gave me a heads up, to start this process, like starting today. I gotta, even though it's brand new, and I've been in here learning this morning and getting some help from our employees, I think I'm still ahead of where somebody else that was brand new would be.
And what made you want to run for mayor?
I felt like we were sitting still. The town I'm talking about when I say we, and I still say we because I was involved in it for so long. I put myself as part of it, but I think that the town was sitting still. We weren't going forward, and we were almost to the point of backing up. And just because we didn't have a unified council and mayor, it was too much bickering and fighting back and forth. And I sat and watched that for a few years, and I said, well, to myself, the only way I know to help that is to get involved. And even though I'd been involved for a long time, I said, going back to my experience, I said, I think I can get in there and get council unified, and we can work together and make things better. So that's why I threw my hat in the ring.
And you spoke a little about city council. Talk about why it's so important for Somerville to have a unified city council with the mayor.
Well, it's important to be unified no matter what you're doing. If you're a group of people working together to get moving in the right direction, you got to be unified. And when you're talking about Somerville as a town council and a mayor, in order for, and we're at a critical stage in Somerville. Our growth problem is just unreal, and there's so many important things to be done. We're at a crossroads in growth that we got to be unified. We got to bring ourselves together along with council, the mayor, our staff. We got to have the proper people on board, which we do. I think, as far as our staff's concerned, for all of us to be unified, to move forward, to get these things done and approach them in the right way, to make sure that we try not to make any mistakes, to move in the right direction, to face these issues that we have as far as our lack in infrastructure and the different things that it's nobody's fault, that we've just other than the fact that we've grown so fast, that we don't let that wave run over us, that we stay ahead of it. And so unity is everything right now. I mean, it's very, very important that we all work together and not fight one another to make these things happen in a very positive way.
And you mentioned the growth problem that's here in Somerville. What are some of your plans to kind of combat that growth that you guys have, but keep the town of Somerville in a small town feel?
Keeping Somerville in a small town feel, that's one thing I really believe that the past councils have done a fairly good job at, because the citizens have kind of demanded that. And that's good, because we got a lot of new people that have moved in here, and they like that. And they've insisted that we keep that. So I think that we've done a pretty good job at keeping that small town feel. You know, it's at the edge of losing it, but yet we've been able to keep it. And there again, if we stay unified with our citizens, with their concerns, with our merchants, and how we approach economic development, and we don't infringe in our old town, you know, as we identified now. We're identified by our old town where we are right here now, and we don't lose that. In the historical part of Somerville, we don't let anything hurt that at all. And we are set up, which we've been for a lot of years now, with a good Board of Architectural Review, and they're very strict, and that's good. That we keep that in place. We'll keep our small town feel. We've just got to really work hard that this traffic situation we got, that we don't let that hurt it either. And I think that we're all on board to make that happen. It's just how we do it, and that's going to be a tough job, you know, to keep that, you know, like it's going now, because it's tough, you know, without traffic, but our small town feel, you know, as far as the old town goes, I do feel like that we're going to be able to keep that like it is, and we just got to keep fighting to make that happen.
And with the traffic, I know that you had a plan while you were running. Is that still the same plan that you're going forward with, working on the traffic loops? Do you think that that's still going to help with the congestion?
Oh yeah. We're gonna get that Berlin Myers Parkway somehow or another. We are already working on that. Been working on it. We got a public hearing on the 23rd or 27th of this month. We're hoping to get some good news out of that, or right out shortly thereafter that. We're hoping to get some good news on that this month from the Army Corps, where we can get started on that. That's going to help us tremendously with our traffic flow as far as getting off of Main Street. And you know, if that happens, that's going to be just a huge help to us. But we got a lot more. That's just one big thing we've been waiting on. But we got a lot more we got to do too as far as traffic. And that's a regional planning area there that we got to work with our cities, sister cities and counties, to take care of this traffic and the growth. You know, Somerville can't do it on its own. That's one thing we got to work together. You know, with our sister cities and counties to make this growth and this major traffic thing work together. And
then any other thoughts that you had about what's coming up for Somerville that we can expect?
No, other than the main thing is us bringing this town back together. You know, the mayor, the town council, the staff, and I see that happening relatively quick. And the sooner we can do that and get, you know, headed in the right direction, moving forward in a good, happy way, I believe that good things are going to happen in Somerville. I really do. And I'm looking forward to that.